They say that fools rush in where angels fear to tread. So here we go. I'll chat about what everybody else is talking about this week. All of the scandal or alleged scandal surrounding Judge Roy Moore and others as sexual misconduct stories continue to come before us almost by the hour. I should note that we're taping this on Thursday afternoon, and Judge Roy Moore is apparently scheduled to make some sort of public statement today, so we'll see about that. But what he has not yet done, which would have inured to his benefit from somebody that practices crisis communications for a living, is systematically denied each and every allegation that's been made against him, because, to be very blunt, they are numerous and they are credible. And he hasn't come out himself and said these are categorically untrue, faced the media, faced their questions, and gone through line by line each of the allegations against him. Instead, he sent out his lawyers, and frankly, they haven't done him much good. And ultimately, being lawyered up and hunkered down is not the best response to this kind of situation. We'll come back to that in a minute, because as we began to do this, stories began to roll out about Al Franken, complete with photographic evidence, something much more serious than confronted Roy Moore. And in the context of all that's going on, I'm here to suggest that Al Franken has big problems. His apology notwithstanding, he's got serious issues. And of course, on the House side of the United States Congress, we hear about this so-called hush fund, which has been used to pay off alleged victims of sexual harassment there, including, we're told, by sitting members, both Republican and Democrat, of the Congress of the United States. So there's an awful lot yet to come out, and that's very disturbing. But here's the issue that's going to be interesting to observe and watch. What does happen to Al Franken? Is there a vote to expel him from the United States Senate based upon what we've already seen and the investigation which has already been agreed to? And if Roy Moore gets to the Senate, will there be a move to expel him? To my knowledge, and I didn't do extensive research on this, but I racked my brain a little bit, that's never been done. There's never been a member who has been expelled for conduct that occurred prior to their arrival in the Senate. The thought being that things that occurred prior to your election were up to the voters to decide. That's why there isn't so-called due process. These aren't trials, they're political questions for voters to decide. But that once somebody got to Washington, their conduct couldn't be passed judgment on by the voters, so the Senate or the House would step in and do it for them. And there's certainly been members who have been expelled. That question is an open one. I don't know that there's any legal precedent for it or any political precedent for it. So it will be very, very interesting to observe. But this much we know. There's way too much of this, and there's certainly more to come. No wonder they call it the swamp. And sadly, for right now, that's the best we could do for this 30, 60-ish seconds of your week.